Have you ever noticed how many mornings begin on autopilot? The alarm goes off. You grab your phone almost without thinking, check messages, news, social media, and before you realize it, your mind is already full before the day has truly begun. The truth is that many people start the day carrying anxiety, hurry, and worries that haven't even happened yet. And that's exactly why a guided meditation to start the day can completely transform the way you experience the next few hours. Now imagine something simple. Before diving into tasks, responsibilities, and problems, you take a few minutes to reconnect with yourself. No rush, no pressure, just breathing, noticing the present moment, and preparing your mind to live the day with more clarity. This morning meditation practice, based on mindfulness and present moment awareness, works like a true mental reset. It's like adjusting the focus of a camera before you start filming. And here's an interesting detail. Many people believe that meditating requires absolute silence, a lot of time, or some special ability. But that isn't true. Meditation to calm the mind can be simple, accessible, and even light. Sometimes with a small smile on your face and a healthy dose of curiosity about the present moment. Throughout this video, you will discover how to use conscious breathing and mindful meditation to start your day with more balance, less anxiety, and much more presence. So if you've ever woken up with your mind racing, or if you would like to begin your mornings with more calm, clarity, and positive energy, stay with me until the end. Because in the next few minutes you will learn, step by step, a morning meditation that can change not only your morning, but the way you live your entire day. Before we begin, I invite you to try this practice with curiosity, without expecting perfection. After all, the goal here is not to perform the perfect meditation, but to create a small space of peace within your routine. And sometimes, just a few minutes of presence is exactly what the mind needs to find balance. Starting the day with a few minutes of silence may seem too simple to make a difference, but in practice, it is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. Think of guided meditation as a doorway into a more balanced mental state. Before diving into tasks, messages, and responsibilities, you create a small space of presence. It's like pressing the pause button in the fast pace of modern life. And interestingly, it is precisely in this pause that the mind begins to find clarity. When we talk about meditation to start the day, many people imagine something complicated or far removed from their routine. But the truth is that this practice is much simpler than it seems. You don't need experience, and you don't need a completely silent mind. In fact, thoughts will appear, and that is perfectly normal. The goal of morning meditation is not to stop thoughts, but to learn how to observe them with greater calm and awareness. As you begin this practice, you also start to develop something extremely valuable: mindfulness. This ability allows you to live in the present moment with greater clarity instead of getting stuck in the past or worrying about the future. And the more you practice, the more you will notice that just a few minutes of meditation to calm the mind can influence the rest of your entire day. It's like adjusting the direction of a boat at the beginning of a journey. Before starting any morning meditation, there is a small step that many people ignore, but that makes all the difference: preparation. We're not talking about anything complicated, but about creating a transition moment between sleep and the activities of the day. Think of it as a conscious awakening. Instead of jumping out of bed and rushing into tasks, allow yourself a few minutes to connect with the present moment. This small pause already begins to reduce anxiety and prepares your mind for a calmer practice. A good meditation to start the day begins with intention. Ask yourself, how do I want to live this day? This simple question completely changes how the mind organizes itself. Instead of reacting automatically to whatever appears, you begin the day with more clarity and purpose. Many people report that when they do this daily, they notice they handle challenges, decisions, and even stressful situations much better. It's like aligning your compass before starting a journey. Another practical tip is to avoid stimulating your mind immediately after waking up. If possible, leave your phone aside for a few minutes. News, social media, and messages can wait. This first moment is for you. By creating this small space of silence, you encourage mindful meditation and conscious breathing, allowing the body and mind to wake up more naturally. And this simple habit can completely transform your morning routine. Now that you have prepared your mind to start the day with more presence, the next step is choosing an environment for your practice. It doesn't have to be a perfect place, silent like a monastery or filled with incense and candles. Although if you enjoy that, you can certainly include it. What matters most is finding a place where you can stay for a few minutes without many interruptions. This small refuge helps the mind understand that this is the beginning of a moment of guided meditation and self-care. It could be a corner of the living room, a chair near the window, or even a space beside your bed. The secret is consistency. When you use the same place for your morning meditation, the brain begins to associate that environment with calm, presence, and silence. Over time, simply sitting there helps your body relax more quickly. It's as if that space becomes a physical reminder of mindfulness and tranquility. Another interesting detail is to observe the stimuli around you. Soft lighting, a comfortable temperature, and a relaxed posture can help a lot with the experience. But remember, the practice does not depend on perfection. Even if there are small sounds around you, like a car passing by or a bird singing, you can use these elements as part of the mindfulness experience. After all, meditation to calm the mind does not mean escaping the world, but learning to be present within it. When people talk about morning meditation, many immediately imagine the famous lotus position, sitting cross-legged on the floor like we often see in movies or images of monks. But the truth is that the ideal posture is simply the one that allows you to remain comfortable and at the same time awake. You can sit on a chair, on a sofa, or on a cushion on the floor. The most important thing is to keep your spine naturally upright, without rigidity, allowing the body to breathe freely. Posture directly influences the quality of mindful meditation. When we are very slouched, for example, the body tends to feel heavier and the mind may drift into sleepiness. On the other hand, when the spine is aligned, the body sends a signal of presence and attention to the brain. It's as if you were silently telling your body, "This moment matters." A simple tip is to imagine that there is a gentle thread pulling the top of your head upward. Nothing exaggerated, just enough to keep the spine elongated and the shoulders relaxed. Your hands can rest naturally on your thighs or in your lap. With this posture, conscious breathing begins to flow more easily, and the body finds a balance between relaxation and presence. And this is exactly the point where the mind begins to slow down. Before deepening the morning meditation, take a few moments to relax the body, especially the areas that often accumulate tension, the shoulders and the neck. Many times we don't even notice it, but we start the day already tense, as if preparing for a battle. So a small conscious movement can make all the difference. Try slowly rolling your shoulders back a few times, releasing any weight that may have built up overnight. This simple gesture prepares the body for meditation to calm the mind, because the body and mind are deeply connected. When the body relaxes, the mind naturally begins to slow down as well. You might gently tilt your head to one side and then the other, always with slow and conscious movements. It is not an intense physical exercise, but an invitation for the body to wake up with kindness. As you make these small movements, observe the sensations that appear. Perhaps a light stretch, a feeling of relief, or simply more space in the body. This observation is already part of mindful meditation because you are training the mind to notice the present moment. And as the body begins to relax, conscious breathing flows much more naturally. Now we arrive at one of the most important points of any guided meditation, the connection with the breath. Breathing is something that happens all the time without us having to think about it. But when we begin to observe it with attention, it becomes a powerful tool for calming the mind. At this moment, simply notice the air entering through your nose and leaving again. Do not try to control it. Just observe. This simple practice already begins a state of mindfulness. Conscious breathing works like a bridge between the body and the mind. When you breathe in calmly and release the air slowly, the body begins to relax and the nervous system understands that it is safe to slow down. That is why many meditations for anxiety begin exactly here. You do not need to breathe deeply or forcefully. In fact, the more natural the breath is, the easier it will be to remain present. If at any moment your mind starts to wander, and it will, because that is the nature of the mind, simply return gently to the breath, without judgment, without frustration. This return is the true training of mindfulness. Every time you return your attention to the breath, you strengthen your ability to remain present. And over time, this ability begins to appear not only during morning meditation, but in many moments throughout your day. Now that you are connected with the rhythm of your breath, allow it to become even more natural and fluid. Many people, when they begin meditation to calm the mind, try to control the air too much, as if they must breathe perfectly. But the truth is quite the opposite. The idea here is to trust your body. Let it breathe at its own pace while you simply observe with curiosity and presence. Notice, for example, the movement of the abdomen as the air comes in and goes out. This small movement is a reminder that your body is working for you all the time. By following this flow with mindful attention, you begin to notice how the mind gradually slows down. Mindful meditation works like this. The more you observe without interfering, the more the body finds its natural balance. As the minutes pass, you may notice your breath becoming slightly slower or deeper. This is completely natural. It's a sign that the body is entering a deeper state of relaxation, something very common in morning meditation and mindfulness practices. And when this state begins to arise, the mind becomes clearer, lighter, and better prepared to face the rest of the day with calm and balance. As your conscious breathing becomes calmer and more natural, you can begin to move your attention to different parts of the body. This practice is known as progressive relaxation and is often used in guided meditation because it helps release tension that we often do not even notice. Start by observing your face. Release your jaw, relax your forehead, and allow the muscles around your eyes to rest. Small adjustments like these already create a sense of lightness. Next, move your attention to your neck, shoulders, and arms. Imagine that with each exhale, any accumulated tension simply dissolves. This kind of observation is a practical way to develop mindfulness. Instead of trying to force relaxation, you simply allow it to happen naturally. Many people notice, at this point in morning meditation, that their body begins to feel lighter, as if releasing an invisible weight. Continue bringing your attention down through the body. Notice your chest, abdomen, back, and then legs. You don't need to do anything besides noticing. This process is one of the foundations of mindfulness because you are training the mind to feel the body in the present moment. And when the body relaxes deeply, meditation for anxiety becomes much more effective. It is in this state of presence and tranquility that the mind begins to find a more stable balance. At some point during the practice, you will probably notice thoughts arising. Perhaps a memory, a worry about something you need to do today, or even a small mental to-do list. This is completely normal. The human mind is designed to think. During a guided meditation, the goal is not to eliminate thoughts, but to learn to observe them with greater calm and awareness. This is precisely where one of the greatest benefits of meditation for anxiety begins. When a thought appears, imagine it as a cloud passing across the sky. You don't need to follow it, nor fight it. Just observe and let it pass. This simple exercise develops mindfulness and strengthens your ability not to react automatically to everything that arises in the mind. Over time, you begin to notice that many thoughts are just passing stories, not something that requires immediate action. Whenever you notice that your mind has wandered, gently return to conscious breathing. No criticism, no frustration. This return is precisely the training of mindfulness. Each time you return to the present moment, you strengthen the ability to keep the mind balanced. And this makes a difference not only in morning meditation, but also in daily situations. During meditation to calm the mind, your breath remains always available to bring you back to the present moment. Whenever you notice distraction, simply return to feeling the air coming in and out. It's a simple gesture, but extremely powerful to stabilize attention. The interesting thing is that breathing is always happening now. It does not exist in the past or future. That's why when you connect with it, you automatically return to the present. This is one of the foundations of mindfulness and conscious meditation. The more you practice returning to the breath, the easier it becomes to deal with distractions, worries, and even moments of stress throughout the day. Over time, you begin to notice that this skill is not limited to the meditation moment. In a difficult meeting, in a tense moment, or even in traffic, conscious breathing can serve as a small mental reset button. And all of this starts here, in these minutes of morning meditation, training your mind to return to the present whenever necessary. Now that your attention is more stable, allow yourself to perceive the present moment more broadly. Notice the sounds around you, the temperature of the environment, and the sensations of your body sitting. This open awareness is a profound form of mindfulness. You are not trying to control the experience, just acknowledging everything happening in this moment. The practice of mindful meditation teaches something very valuable. Life always happens in the now. However, we often spend a large part of our time stuck in memories of the past or worries about the future. By developing this presence during morning meditation, you begin to regain the ability to live each moment with more clarity and tranquility. Over time, this awareness begins to expand to other areas of life. A conversation becomes more present, a meal becomes more flavorful, and even small pauses during the day take on more meaning. This is the essence of mindfulness, being truly present in the experience happening now. While you remain in this state of presence, remember something important. Each day brings its own experiences. Some will be pleasant, others may bring challenges or surprises. Practicing meditation to start the day does not mean everything will be perfect, but that you will be better prepared to handle whatever comes. By cultivating mindfulness, you learn to respond to situations with more balance instead of reacting impulsively. When something unexpected happens, a mind trained through meditation for anxiety tends to remain clearer. Instead of immediately going into tension or worry, you create a small space between the event and your reaction. This space is extremely valuable. It allows you to choose how to act, rather than simply reacting automatically. And this skill begins to be built exactly here, in these minutes of silence, presence, and conscious breathing. Another important aspect of this practice is developing self-trust. When you start the day with guided meditation, you send a powerful message to your mind. you are taking care of your inner balance. This strengthens a sense of stability that can accompany you throughout the day. Often, anxiety arises precisely from feeling unprepared for what might happen. Meditation to calm the mind helps dissolve some of this insecurity because you learn to handle thoughts and emotions better. Instead of feeling dominated by them, you begin to observe them with more awareness. With regular morning meditation practice, an interesting insight emerges. You already possess many resources within yourself to face challenges. Breathing, attention, and presence are simple but extremely powerful tools. And the more you use them, the more confidence you develop in your own ability to handle life. Within each person exists a natural source of balance and clarity. Many traditions call this inner wisdom. However, in the rush of daily life, we rarely stop long enough to listen to it. Conscious meditation creates exactly this space. A few minutes of silence where the mind can reorganize. When the mind is less agitated, decisions tend to become clearer. Simple intuitions begin to emerge more easily. This is one of the reasons so many people use morning meditation as a way to align thoughts, emotions, and intentions before starting their activities. Mindfulness practice does not offer ready-made answers, but creates the conditions for you to perceive with more clarity what is already within you. And often, this small pause of presence is enough to bring a deep sense of direction and balance. Now, before closing this morning meditation, you can try a simple but extremely powerful exercise: anticipated gratitude. Instead of waiting for something good to happen to feel grateful, you begin the day recognizing the possibilities it brings. Mentally, you might repeat something like, "I am grateful for everything this day is about to offer." This type of thought helps direct the mind toward a more positive and open perspective. Many meditation practices for anxiety use gratitude for this exact reason. It changes how we interpret our experiences. When you combine conscious breathing, mindfulness, and gratitude, you create a much more balanced mental state to face the day. It does not mean ignoring difficulties, but rather recognizing that opportunities, learning experiences, and moments of joy also exist along the way. As we reach the end of this guided meditation, slowly begin bringing your attention back to your surroundings. Notice the sounds again, the temperature of the space, and the sensations of your body. There is no rush to finish. This gradual return helps maintain the calm you cultivated during the practice. Perhaps you notice that your mind feels slightly calmer, or your body feels more relaxed. This is one of the natural effects of morning meditation. Even a few minutes of practice can create a significant change in how you begin the day. Before opening your eyes fully, take one last deep breath. Acknowledge this moment you dedicated to yourself. This simple habit of conscious meditation can become one of the most transformative practices in your routine. And now, with more presence and clarity, you are ready to start your day. We have reached the end of this guided meditation to start the day, and perhaps you already noticed something different within you. Maybe a calmer mind, a more relaxed body, or simply the feeling of having created a small space of peace before diving into activities. And that is exactly the power of morning meditation. It is not about doing something extraordinary, but about allowing a few minutes of mindfulness that help organize the mind and bring more balance to your day. Now I want to invite you to reflect on something simple. How would it be to start every day this way? Imagine facing challenges with more calm, making decisions with more clarity, and feeling less burdened by the worries that usually appear early in the morning. Practicing conscious meditation and mindful breathing can become a true support point during moments of pressure. And the more you practice mindfulness, the more natural it becomes to return to the present whenever your mind gets agitated. Perhaps today you noticed that you don't need much time to take care of your mind. Sometimes just a few minutes are enough to completely change the rhythm of your day. So here are some questions for you to carry with you. Can you reserve a few minutes tomorrow to repeat this practice? How do you think your routine would change if you started the day with more presence and less hurry? What if this meditation to calm the mind became a natural part of your mornings? If this content made sense to you and helped in some way, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. That way you won't miss upcoming morning meditation practices, conscious breathing exercises, and content that can help you live with more calm, clarity, and balance. Thank you for dedicating this time to yourself. Take a deep breath once more, and have a day full of presence, awareness, and positive experiences.